Hey all, Slanish Devotee here with another round of 40k Conquest playing on Octagon. Today I'm running a Nazdreg deck which is taking advantage of a lot of the Apoka cards from the recent Navita Prime cycle they put together, and I'm up against Gorzod, who obviously pulls in vehicles from Astra Militarum and Space Marines and drops their cost by 1 as well, which is pretty nice. So I'm just looking through a lot of attachments, and I'm thinking of dropping them onto the Neurotic Obliterator, which is an Apoka card that they've included here. And unfortunately, I think I was expecting to be able to use the Commando Sneakers to ready the Obliterator, but unfortunately they only trigger onto Orc units, which means they're not as useful as I had initially anticipated here. For other orcs that are going to be good bodies, but the commandos may not be as useful as I initially thought. So I don't mulligan, neither does Dunyazad, and then I throw the Obliterator onto the first planet. So he's a 3 cost, 1 command, 1 attack, 5 hit point warrior, which is all very standard sort of stats wise. He gets +1 attack and hit point for every attachment that's on him, which is a nice ability, but then he also has a reaction when you declare him as a defender. You can exhaust a weapon attachment like this rocket launcher, which is 1 cost, gains ranged, and do 1 point of damage to the defender. So you preemptively can ping them if they attack the Obliterator, and the more weapons he has, the stronger he can become with that. Gorzod's first move is an ammo depot, which costs 1, and when you have low cards in your hand, you can exhaust it to gain more. It's a nice alternative economy. So I've got a 2/6 ranged unit on the first planet right now, which is solid, not impenetrable, but it's a solid unit to start off. And then I have it's a Carnath Planum lineup, which is always nasty. So I'm going to be able to put this unit down the line potentially if I win the first planet. So the Obliterator is an interesting unit which really encourages the use of attachments. And attachments haven't been a strong thing in Conquest, I feel. Shadow Sun with the ability to bring them back and reduce the cost. The Ambush platform in Tau, which allows you to deploy them during combat and reduce their cost. The Hotshot Lasgun that returns to your hand instead of being discarded when a unit dies. All those sorts of things mitigate the loss that attachments give you. Because they put chickens in one basket. You know, the more things that are attached to a unit, if it gets routed or if it gets killed, suddenly all these attachments kind of effectively are useless. So I think things like exhausting attachments that don't actually need to exhaust for their ability, interacting with the units a little bit differently. I think these are good avenues to try and make attachments a little bit more of a thing. So he played a Void Pirate, which he moved, which is fine, I don't mind him moving. And then I drop a Cyborg Body, the signature attachment of Nazdreg, onto this Obliterator. And what it does is it doubles the unit's hit points. So it just gained another +1 attack and +1 hit point to make it a 3/7, but then the hit points are doubled, so it is a 3/14 with ranged. And that means if my Warlord is there, it gets brutal, and if you've hurt it, it becomes like a 7/10 with ranged. So it's a really nice combination straight away. I'm really pleased with that. And so my Warlord gives it brutal. So I think there's been some good ideas to help improve the use of attachments so far outside of the Tau faction, and I'd like to see a few more. I'd like to see a bit more biomorphs on Tyranids. I'd like to see some interesting attachments with some of the others. I think it's worth doing, seeing what you can get. Alright, so at this point Gorzod has some very tricky decisions to make. He's still got 5 resources and 5 cards, so he's got a lot of options. He's just noticed that Carnath followed by Planum is a very nasty combination, especially with a big unit like this. whereas I'm down to 2 resources and 4 cards. Now this is the first time I've played this deck. Obviously the Obliterator and all his attachments starting things off is quite good, but I'm not sure exactly. Do I want to play to get resources? Do I want to play to get cards? Do I want to keep this going as a bit of a rush? Or should I actually have sort of planned long term? Iridial's on the board, he mentions, which means I'm going to be able to heal this gigantic monster if he is unable to kill it particularly quickly. If he tries to, whittle it down a little, I'll have a few options to heal it up. So there's some really interesting options on that planet lineup. That's the beauty of Conquest, isn't it? That you get all these different combinations that make it really tricky to get the same game twice. The new options that come up, the fact that Karnath is on the board but is going to be gone immediately. He throws a Taurox APC down onto the last planet there. It's a cost of 1 because his Warlord ability reduces it by 1, and it's just otherwise so that makes it a 1 cost, 1 command, 2/2, which is really good stats. But it can move to a planet, or to a green planet, after a combat round ends. So if he can make it through a combat round, he can bring in the Taurox as a little bit of an extra insurance for the next round of combat. I throw out a Rogue Trader, just a little bit of resources, but he counters that with a Hydra Flak Tank, which is one of the Apoka cards. It's Imperial Guard, 3 cost, 1 command, 2/3, deals double damage to enemy flying or mobile, or after a unit moves to or from the planet, deal it a damage, and it would be doubled if it was a flying or mobile unit. So that's a really cool flak tank. It only costs 2 because of Gorzod's ability, and that means if I move the Obliterators to planet 2 to set up for the next round, they're going to have to take a point of damage, which actually, given they're a 14 hit point unit, it's probably not too bad, but that's fine. And I think at this point I'm going to throw the Chain Axe onto the Obliterator as well. The Obliterator is the Cornate Chain Axe gains a unit +2 attack and gives it a Bloodthirst specialization. During a combat round, when a unit has been killed, the unit gains, I think it's Brutal. I wasn't actually paying attention while it was on the screen there, but hopefully you looked at it. So that would bring the Obliterator up to having the attachment would make him a 4/16, and the extra attack from the Chain Axe would mean he's at a 6/18. 6 attack, 18 hit points. If something dies, he gains Brutal, and he has ranged. So just a monster. Really nasty monster. But I decided to save the resource, and I'm pretty sure I saved it because I thought I wanted to be able to trigger the Commando Sneakers, which they interplay, they have an ambush, they can join during a combat, and what they do is they allow a unit to take a point of damage and get readied. But why? Why did I do that when it is of no use with my Obliterator, which is clearly one of the better targets for my use of all these attachments and things. So, very concerned where he can go. He uses his ammo depot to draw another card, see if he gets another option. So he must have been down to 3 cards in his hand. But he hasn't got any new options. So, I decide where I'm going to send my Warlord is planet 3. I want to counter his income. We're both tied at planet 2, and he might counter me at planet 1, but that would be very risky for him. That Obliterator is going to hurt him. So I'm going to cancel his command that way, or as much as I can. It also means that I have Planum a second time. If I can do Planum and then Planum, that might allow me to move the Obliterator into a couple of interesting positions. And he's chosen. So here we go, my choice is planet 3, and he goes to planet 4. Totally reasonable. So theoretically, I can send the Obliterator to planet 4, attack him, and then I win on planet 3, and oh no, it won't, because, yeah, see, that was my thought process. Planet 4 won't fight until after Planum, so It's not quite as good as I thought. Okay, so I get a few bits and pieces out of that. He gets, we're probably pretty even. And I've got nothing happening on planet 1, neither does he. So, do I want to push him off? Or do I just want to go to that second planet? And I decide I want to push him off. And I think part of that is because I saw the teleporter pad show up in my hand, and I thought, oh great, I can just use him to throw him back to the first planet when I need him there. But I realized the teleporter pad only works on orcs. So again, the obliterator is going to be of no use there. The sneakers and the teleporter pad, my little tricks, combat tricks, I guess, of no good, of no use, which is annoying. That means this use of Planum is now kind of pointless, and so maybe I should have gone to Barless or something to cancel his command. So I go to move the Rogue Trader off of that first planet, can't remember what it is, and then he reminds me that the flak tank, when things are moving away, he's blatting away at them, and so obviously I can't, there's no point in moving it away and taking the point of damage. It's pointless. But if I use Planum to move the Obliterator somewhere else, that's pointless too. So I don't bother. Scrying Pool is a free attachment, so I've got lots of attachments in this deck. I need them, so I've got it in there, but it's really more of a discard insurance. It doesn't do a lot until he tries to make me discard, and then it automatically jumps in the way instead. So the Scrying Pool I might need to change out. I might need to see if we can get, if there are any other attachments, or if any other attachments show up that might be a better use. Alright, and then Yvonne, my massive unit, hits him with 3 ranged. I don't think he likes that. There we go, he takes some damage. 4? No, there we go, 3. Cool. And now he can hit my Obliterator back, which is fine. So I exhaust a weapon attachment, which causes 1 point of extra damage on Gorzod. And then I take 2 damage, shield 1 of it. I want to keep him alive as long as possible. I'm not sure why I used up the Chain Axe for that. I probably should have used the Scrying Pool, because the Scrying Pool is less useful. And now, is he going to stay? Probably not, to be honest. It seems unlikely that you would stay. He says he stays. Sure, I'll stay. See, and this is me realizing that the sneakers are useless. Yeah. Okay, I stay as well. And as his first action, he runs away. Which is fair enough when you have the initiative and no ranged units. And yeah, fair enough, you can do that. I'm not going to trigger it, unfortunately. I don't have any units that I want to cheat into play. So that's all done. Okay, turn all sorted, all done. Okay, and now I've got a Junk Chucker Commando, which is one of the other really good units to have. And I pulled a Mark of Slanesh, which is really, really great, because that lets me move the Obliterators when I want them to move. Oh darn, misplayed a card. Yes, yeah. My Chain Axe cost 1. But what I'm aware of is I'm running these Junk Chuckers, and really they reduce the cost of any attachment you play on them by 1. So really I should prioritize 0 cost attachments as shields, because I have a chance of cheating out the other attachments a little bit better on the Junk Chuckers. It's not a huge problem, but it just may have helped. So I've got 7 resources, and I need to think about how do I best want to use those. He throws a truck wreck launcher onto the board. When a vehicle he controls leaves play, the support will deal 1 damage to an enemy at the same planet, unless it's exhausted already, in which case it readies, so it's just constantly ticking away the more vehicles he has. I throw out the teleporter, 2 cost, exhaust the support to move a target orc unit to the first planet. Really good. Yeah, we both point out that the teleporter pad won't shift the obliterator, which is a shame. It is a real shame. All right, and that means it's his turn again. 6 resources, 7 cards. He's got a lot of options, which is quite good. He throws out the customization station, and that's a game wrecker right there. 3 cost support. It's a big deal. It's a location, so it's vulnerable to a lot of support removal. But what it does is it means that his Imperial Guard and Space Marine vehicles now count as Orc vehicles. They still have the cost reduction, but anything that affects Orcs will affect them. So if he had a teleporter pad, he would be able to trigger it with these things. The Junk Chucker. After a unit resolves an attack, move an attachment from this unit to a target eligible unit at this planet to deal 2 damage to it. So I can throw attachments at the enemy. He'll get to use them if he survives, but it also does 2 damage, which is kind of nice. He throws a Raven Guard speeder on the first planet, so it's down to 3 cost, 2 command, 3/3 with flying, which is just a really solid investment there. Good command, decent body, really good. Now, what I was saying about the customization station, though, is that it also gives all Orc units, Orc vehicles, +1 attack and +1 hit point. So all the vehicles that he has on the board are now Orc vehicles. They can be affected by Orc-only effects, but they also have +1 attack and +1 hit point, plus they also have a reduction of 1 cost when he plays them, because Gorzod's not bloodied. So that Raven Guard Speeder for 3 resources is a 4 attack, 4 hit point flyer, so it halves attacks coming in on it. I was going to put Mark of Slaanesh on that Rogue Trader, and now I'm really not sure. Now I'm really going, oh my goodness, that's some big, heavy, nasty things on the first planet. But to be honest, probably should have gone in there with Nazdreg, put that Mark of Slaanesh onto the Rogue Trader. So being there with Nazdreg would have stolen me the initiative. Yeah, I don't want range. Well, it doesn't really matter. At that point, I'd throw over the Obliterator, because he'd kill the Rogue Trader at some point. Well, he wouldn't while I'm there with Nazdreg, so he wouldn't get the... tricky stuff. I could get the... pull the Junk Chucker Commandos over, potentially. Yeah, I feel like I should have put the Mark of Slaanesh. Even if I'd put the mark onto one of his units, then he would have had to either run it away or let it die. If I'd have put it on the flak tank, maybe, put the Mark of Slaanesh on the flak tank, then he could have retreated it, which would have been great. I would have had a better chance of killing off whatever's left. Or he can stick around, but if I kill it, then I'm bringing over the Obliterators. I feel like the Obliterators, with their just huge hit points and stuff, I feel like they would have been able to take out the Land Speeder, and I didn't, and well, at least as you're going to find, I don't think I do, at least. And I really think that was probably my best option. That customization station is a really huge deal, though. So I go all the way down to Aatrox, and that means he gets 2 planets. I get 2 planets, which isn't terrible. Getting some more attachments coming through, which is obviously the point of this deck. He expected me to be going to planet 2 to move around the Obliterators and stuff, and I still would have won it if I'd have gone there, because his Gorzod is definitely not too well set up there. Yeah, I think I should have done the Marcus Slanesh there. Pulled it over, gotten a decent whack onto something else. And he heals up his Warlord. Oh, frustrating. Frustrating stuff. I think I've missed an opportunity there. I think that's really going to be quite a difference. And then this is problematic. As soon as he initiated Planum, I went, hell. Committing down the line from Planum where there's something big and nasty like a Raven Wing Speeder, Raven Guard Speeder, whichever Raven army it is speeder, he can just throw that down to my planet, which is going to really, really, really be nasty on me. Thankfully he didn't. But that was potentially very, very bad for me. So, that's not great. Nothing particularly thrilling happening here. Got a Crush Face, which is nice. He might combine well with the Sneakers. I might get some good options out of that. Got a couple of Marks of Slanesh, which could allow me to bully on to this first planet now, which would give me another blue, which would then let me win on the next planet, or the fourth planet. It would also give me my first green, which would allow me to win on the third planet, but that's the only chance of winning with it. I feel like I should probably have started playing a bit more defensively instead of offensively, to just sort of make sure I had things where I needed them at the end, just at the last second. But also with that customization station out, it is he gets a huge economic advantage on me now, so that's really dangerous. Crush Face on the first planet costs 3. He drops the cost of any other Orc units you play at that unit by 1, which is quite nice. I might trade him out for something else, something a little bit beefier to take a lot of attachments, but we'll see. He throws a rickety war buggy onto the first planet for 1 resource. It's normally no command, 3 attack, 1 hit point, but with the customization station it's hitting for 4 with 2 hit points. I throw a Staff of Change onto the Chucker for free. Attach to an army unit. After you win a command, deal 2 damage to an enemy army unit at this planet. Which is nice, it's freebie. It's got a few options to consider now. He puts another Taurox on that planet. He doesn't want to risk losing the command. I put a Mark of Slanesh, and I put it onto Crush Face. And I don't know that that's the best place to put it. I've got the teleporter pad, which allows me to pull my Warlord somewhere else if I need to as well. And at this point, everything I have can get to planet 1. Assuming my Warlord commits there, but also if I have another Mark of Slanesh, which I do, my Warlord can commit elsewhere, everything can get to planet 1, and then my Warlord can be pulled in as well with the teleporter pad. So it gives me a lot of options to really smack down on planet 1, but he just has that huge efficiency with the vehicles now that he's got that station out, which makes it really tricky for me to think about exactly where do I want to put what. And I point out all of his units can get there too. Those Taurox, after the first battle round, are going to be able to move to that first planet, which is going to mean just so many more things getting involved. It's big and it's bloody. It wouldn't give either of us a huge advantage, except that it's planet, which is really important. So, tricky decision making at this point. He's got less resources than me, although they're very efficient resources usually now, whereas I actually have very little very few options of things I want to put out, you know. Bigger is better and Crush Face mean I can throw the sneakers for free onto the first planet, and I've got 2 0-cost attachments which might be worth putting out. Might be worth putting the Scrying Pool onto the Obliterators. They get +1 HP, then plus another +1 HP because of their ability, and then that is actually +4 HP because they have a cyborg body. So I think they'd have like 22 hit points. And just at that level, they're just likely to kill things, you know. They'd be 4 or 5 attack. If I could get them to do at least one swing with Brutal, they could, you know, knock something out really, really easily. I could leave Nazdreg down the line, not worry about initiative, and then pull him over just in time for the Obliterators to swing after they've taken a bunch of hits, you know, and really smash someone's day. Knock that Land Raider out of the sky, or bloody Gorzod, those sorts of things. But in the end of the day, he passes. So I put a Mark of Slaanesh onto the Junk Chucker, and what I figure is that's actually one of the better things you can put onto the Junk Chucker, because you move the attachment to a target eligible unit, so you throw it onto the enemy, but then they get it. So like if I had a rocket launcher on the Junk Chucker, I could use this reaction to throw the rocket launcher onto, for example, one of the Toll Rocks, but then they would gain the rocket launcher, they would be ranged. They're not eligible units, so they can't take it, but that's the idea. However, the Mark of Slaanesh, it doesn't give them any bonus. It allows me to pull over a unit, and the Mark of Slaanesh, all units are eligible, so I can use it to hit vehicles, because I can't throw a rocket launcher at the vehicles. It's a war gear attachment, and all vehicles have the no war gear attachments keyword. I think it's called keyword, even though it's keyword plus modifiers. So I commit to Planet 3 specifically to cause 2 damage to one of the Toll Rocks, and at that point I remember, oh yeah, they've got 3 hit points now, they're not going to die immediately. Rough. But that's okay, that's a start. And now I'm thinking about my timing on Planet 1. I've got a Mark of Slaanesh there, but also I really wanted to take the advantage of Crush Face, and I've absolutely not in any way taken advantage of him. So I'm trying to decide, do I want to gain the initiative and at least swing first with him? And it turns out I do. Probably would have been better to wait until the Obliterators had built up a bit of a hit point Brutal option, and then moved him over just in time to swing with Brutal. So I'll remember that next time. But I now have initiative on Planet 1. But he does have a Hydra flak tank on this planet, which is able to ping a unit that moves there for 1 damage. And I've got a lot of units that are likely to move to Planet 1 this turn. And he does decide to ping Nazdreg, which is reasonable. I'm going to be really close to being bloodied really quickly here, which is a bit worrying. Although I could take a swing. 3 damage. No, it's not 3 damage, is it? It's 1 damage. I don't know why I took that as 3. Oh, I think I thought it was his first swing, and I was about to say, hang on, you don't get first swing. But it's not that. So, yeah, between the land speeder and that war buggy, I could be bloodied here, which is why it would have been better to save the teleporter pad, I think. I think the rickety war buggy is really interesting. While the enemy has initiative, which I do at the moment, the rickety war buggy can't be dealt damage by units. So yeah, I should have let him keep initiative, and then I would have been able to junk chucker things onto him. I should have stayed off with Nazdreg, which would have allowed me to come in only at the right time. And it would just be a shame that Crush Face really wouldn't have had the much strength applied to him. I would have been able to jump in with the commandos and ready. Well, Crushface probably would have died straight away, but I could have readied the Junk Chucker. I could have readied Nazdreg if it was vital at that point. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. This is looking nasty, very nasty. Like a massive hit. I decide I'm going to throw these guys in here now, just so I can get as much out of these guys as possible. But of course, this will mean if I do swing with either Crushface or the Sneakers, Nazdreg will be sitting at this planet about to be hit by 5 by the land speeders. So really I should retreat with him, but then what was the point in readying Crushface? Yeah, I feel like I've wasted something there. I probably should have saved the Sneakers to be able to swing twice with the Commando, with the Junk Chucker Commando. If I threw the Mark of Slanesh at maybe the Flak Tank, and then threw the Staff of Command at the Rickety War Buggy, although I don't think I could throw the Staff of Command at anything at that planet. Still. He actually reminded me that these units have Brutal, so that's good, but the Truck Wreck Launcher, a vehicle is gone, so the Truck Wreck Launcher throws bits and pieces at the Sneakers, causes damage to them. And now he can bloody my Warlord, which is not good. Not good at all. Yep, takes the opportunity, which is very reasonable. And I've got no other options. I think that pause was me going, oh yeah, I wasn't able to retreat. Yeah, so I think I mistimed this battle really badly. But first time I'm using the deck, getting used to how exactly I want it to work. I don't feel too bad about it. I'll have to keep using it and give it some more tries. So, Crushface swings at Gorzod, see if he can cause some damage to that Warlord. Put 2 more on him, that's nice, better than nothing. And then we're going to ready, and the Tower Rocks are going to run over. Still doesn't want to take out Crushface, doesn't want to bring things over until he has to, which is perfectly reasonable. Okay. He's bringing both the Tower Rocks over. So he's putting all his chickens in this basket, all his eggs in this basket. Everything's here. And I have to think about what do I want to do here. I've invested. I really should follow up, but not sure if I am fully going to. Yep, I do. I say I'm staying. Okay, good. Gorzod runs away, realizing that staying is dangerous. He has other matters to attend to. Which is really should be fine, because that means I've got a better chance of actually winning this planet. He's got that much less influence on the actual battle itself. I do have initiative, so I can kill off that Tower Rocks, hopefully, with Crushface. But no, he's got a 2-shield rock bombardment, which makes it go, ooh. He's got 7 cards. He could have a few different shields in there, and I hadn't really been thinking about taking that into account with the combat. So here we go. He's finished off Crushface, and I pull over the Commando Chucker, the Junk Chucker. Okay. Alright, here we go. So what to do next? swing for 2, probably on the other tile rocks, and throw something onto the APC. I really need to keep the Mark of Slanesh on the junk chucker. Throw 2 damage. Yeah, now see, I don't think I can. See, I've thrown it over, but already, actually, yeah, I think we go with it. But actually, it says eligible unit, and the Staff of Command is a war gear attachment, which means it's ineligible to go on a vehicle which has no war gear attachments. So actually, that wouldn't be, that shouldn't have happened right there. I could have thrown the Mark of Slanesh, but I need to keep it on the junk chucker so that the so that when it dies, like right now, I can pull over the big bad obliterator. So these sorts of things I'm going to have to look out for in future, being able to not waste the chucker's ability to throw stuff. See, because it's a 3 cost, but only 2 attack, 2 hit point, that's not a lot for that price. And I don't know that either of its abilities really justify a full extra resource. Like having cheaper attachments on it, being a 2 cost, 1 command, 2 attack, 2 hit point for the junk chucker, I feel like probably is reasonable. Maybe it is worth 1 more with the ability to throw the attachments. But see, the throwing the attachments is almost neutral in a sense, because you are risking that they shield or they survive and that they get the benefit of your attachment. So it's tricky. It's very tricky. So he throws down Squigify, which really would have been the one thing that I like. It's Archon's Terror is the only other thing that was going to be this bad. Klavix Wall, like this is a big nasty play for a single unit attachment based sort of system here. So what Squigify does is, for a cost of 3, my unit is now turned into a squig. It gains the squig trait, I'm pretty sure, which blanks the text box, which means that its reaction to being declared a defender doesn't happen anymore, and its bonuses for having attachments don't happen anymore. So, and its attack value is set to 1. So it is, as Duniazad is mentioning, it is a 110 with ranged for the remainder of this battle, which means I can't win anymore, which I'm not pleased about. It's not fun. I'm not impressed, except I am very impressed. It's a perfect play of that. Brilliant to keep a hold of that. So no other actions. I've got a swing, and I decide to go for the speeder because if I'm hitting it for 1 and it gets halved for flying, then it's still getting hit for 1. So I feel like that's actually getting the most out of that. I shield with the scrying pool so I don't take the full 5 damage, and then I'm going to have to run because there's no way I can stay there, which is really frustrating. That's going to be a problem. He's going to have 2 green and 2 blue, which means the next planet is a win condition, and the one after that is a win condition, and the one after that is a win condition. So he's got lots of options now, whereas my Warlord is bloodied. My ranged monster obliterator is going to be coming in exhausted from the headquarters, so I've got to think, how am I going to do these next few rounds to get the most out of this. Okay, I've got some interesting options here. I can throw Crush Face onto the first planet, and then 2 of the Nazdreg's Flash Gits, which will come to a total cost of 7, but will be quite good. I can probably put my axe onto one of them, and I can drop the Obliterator at Barless. he's been very kind in saying that he got lucky, but I mean this is exactly the situation that Squigify is in your deck for. So you know, I can't say that he got lucky. All I can say is that he did exactly what he was supposed to be doing, really. And yeah, it's really making me think this deck would fail miserably against any halfway reasonable Dark Eldar deck. Yeah, with a bit of choke, a bit of denial, a bit of point control, a bit of removal. You know, they've really got it all. Okay, Armored Fist Squad shows up for 1 resource. It's a 2 cost normally, but 1 resource at the moment. 1 command, and with the customization station, it's up to 3 attack, 3 hit points. And if there's a Warlord there, it'll be 5 hit points. When it retreats, you get to exhaust a non-Warlord, which is quite good. I quite liked that design space, that idea of there were the Warlord groupies that got +1, +2 attack when they were with Warlords. Very dangerous for your Warlords. But I quite like the Warlord defenders almost, I guess, getting more hit points when there's a Warlord there. But they're a bit different, I guess. It's not as good as the attack, because your Warlord is a target. He's a big target. So you're usually going to be swinging at the Warlord. And so the bonus attack was, how long are you going to leave your Warlord there to keep these guys hitting really hard? And with the Armored Fist Squad giving you the HP bonus, it's like they're not going to swing at it until the Warlord's gone, and then the Warlord will be gone, so you won't get the bonus. So it's a nice idea, but I don't think it's that good unless you've got some redirection, some bodyguard, or those sorts of things. So we threw in an Assault Valkyrie, which is just cruel. The Assault Valkyrie costs him 3 and is a 5/5 flyer with 1 command hammer. Just brutal. And at this point he asks us if I'm playing the Pain Boy Surgery, which of course I am. I've got a deck full of attachments. Well, of course I would be. I put the Goth Big Chopper onto the second Pain Boy, not Pain Boy, sorry, the Nazdreg's Flash Kits. I believe it gives me +2 attack and Armor Bane. So there we go, I've got a bunch of stuff on Planet 1. And I decide I'm going to drop the Obliterators at Planet 1, but I'm going to need to run away. He's got initiative. I'm pretty hopeful that I'm going to be able to run away. I think... yeah, with the Land Speeder, we are tied for command, so I get no new cards to help me with shields or anything. So let's see what we can do. I've got the Flash Kits, which will allow me to stand up a couple of extra times. Nazdreg is going to have to run away really quickly. I think we're pretty done here. The efficiency of the units is just too strong. Just not going to be able to get past it, I don't think. Okay, here we go. Assault Valkyrie. He wants to knock that thing out straight away, and he can. Because I have no shields in hand, I've got nothing in hand. So, away goes the biggest threat. I gotta run. I suppose I could have stayed and taken 1 hit, but oh, it's not pleasant. He has to run pretty quickly. It probably would have been worth him staying 1 round and getting a hit out of the other Flash Kits or Crush Face, because Crush Face isn't able to ready. So it makes him a more priority target. If you can kill him before he's swung, then he's never going to be in there. Whereas the Flash Kits, if they swing, they might be able to come back. I managed to get rid of Gorzod, but his Warlord ability is all about the efficiency, so he's not able to be used. Killing him now doesn't affect anything, you know. I thought he was telling me that he had something else to do. He had a different action he needed to take. but he just meant as a good practice is to wait until you actually need the flash kits readied before you bother inflicting a point of damage on them and readying them, which is their ability. 3 cost, 1 command, 2 attack, 3 hit points if I remember correctly. So, swinging at the obliterators, causing some big hits on it. What am I going to go for next? See if I can finish off that Tower Rocks. And he reminds me that I am able to use the exhaust a weapon to cause a point of damage. I do manage to kill off the Tower Rocks. So there's some good things here, but I forgot about the truck wreck launcher. That's going to cause 3 more points of damage over the course of this game if I manage to kill everything he has, which is actually not insignificant. Speed is going to take out the flash kits. We're ready. We're pretty much done here. Yeah. Okay, so he's on 2 green, 2 blue. This is a win condition. I just don't think I've got enough here. So I'm going to take a big hit, and then I'm going to be able to, well, not kill something, but take a good hit on something. But that's going to be it. Massive hit. Massive. Can't kill him in one shot, so he's going to be able to kill something back. What's he going to kill? Really, there's only one thing he can kill. I could have gone for the speeder, I think. No, it wouldn't have been enough. Okay. I think that's going to be enough. Yep. There it goes. Nasty. So, there we go. Good game. And that was my first attempt to use the attachment heavy orc deck here. Now, I think, here we go, I start pulling out some other cards. Just some different bits and pieces, some different attachments, some different command. There we go. Painboy Surgery was another 5, 6 cards down, and then I would have drawn a card and did a point of damage, drawn a card and did a point of damage, drawn a card, and it would have been an attachment that would have gone onto an orc unit. There we go. So I'm keen to try this deck out again and see if I can get some Painboy Surgery, get some other things. I'll have to look at what units are best, are going to actually create some synergy between things like the teleporter pad and the commando sneakers to make sure I'm getting the best bang for my buck. But I hope you enjoyed seeing that, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.